Hello， 大家好，欢迎收看国际汽联亚洲3级方程式锦标赛泰国站的现场直播。那么即将开始的是本赛季的第4回合正赛，结果如何，让我们拭目以待。Berlin。
Hello and welcome to live coverage of the Formula 3 Asian Championship for the round 2 here in Buriram, Thailand. And in this morning's qualifying section, we saw Yukio takes a pole position, and now he's also the overall championship point leader. But before the race start, Alex, I would like to ask you, what are the challenges here for the drivers?
Yeah, I think it's a very challenging track, same as Sepang, one of the hardest tracks in the world. So every driver needs to stay concentrated in the 30 minutes race. And if you look at the qualifying one result, you will find out 16 lap time made by 12 of the 14 drivers were delayed because of exceeding track limits. So that's something every driver should pay attention to. They need to stay on track and avoid penalties. After that, I think we can have a good race.
OK， 那刚刚我问到Alex， 那么在这里呢都有哪些对车手来讲都有哪些挑战？他也提到呢，这个五里南的赛道也是这个全世界最热的赛道之一，这个和雪邦是一样的，非常的高的温度。那么的同时呢，在今天早晨的 qualifying 当中呢，也有很多车呢就越过白线来受到了罚分。那么这也是在之后的比赛当中车手们需要注意的部分。So the action is just minutes away, but before the race start, let's have a quick look of the last round highlight. 那么在比赛开始之前呢，先让我们来回顾一下上一回合的精彩集锦。
Welcome to Chang International Circuit in Thailand for what is the second event of the 2019 F3 Asian Championship certified by the FIA. We are in for the first of three races this weekend, races 4, 5 and 6 of the second season of the F3 Asian Championship. Here is the calendar for this year. Of course, we started at Sepang in Malaysia in early April, Buriram, Thailand, off to Suzuka in Japan. That is one many of the teams are looking forward to. Of course, an iconic circuit in this part of the world. And we close the year out in September, both ends of the month, at Shanghai International Circuit in China. Of course, that will make for a very, very interesting season, and already the racing has been very, very impressive. We'll go through the qualifying list very, very shortly, but you can see there's some blue sky today. We haven't seen much of that over the last couple of days. In fact, the storm's so bad here on Thursday. Catch fencing was blown down, scaffolding was blown down, certainly camera locations were blown down and made it very, very challenging. Yesterday a little bit wet, and today an awful lot better. So cars are down on the grid. Looks like Feline may well be down on the grid. She is with the pole position driver. Of course, that is the championship points leader, Ukyo Sashihara.
Hi, Ukyo. What do you need to do to win today's race?
Yeah, I think like in Sepang, I try to get a good start, get the first lap, try to manage the gap from the behind, and let's see, because I don't know if the tire going to be degraded or not, but I think I will try push to the end. So, yeah.
Good luck with the race. 那刚刚我问到Ukyo 呢，他今天的比赛要如何做才能赢得这场比赛？他提到呢，他会像雪邦一样来保持领先的位置，同时呢和后面的车拉开距离。但是呢，他不了解这个轮胎能在这里炎热的天气之下的受热情况。不过呢，他也会非常的努力，希望能拿到冠军。
Interesting words from Ukyo. The track conditions have changed since yesterday. We saw rain during the course of a couple of sessions. One of their practice sessions was a complete whitewash. But interestingly, during qualifying earlier, there was some very, very good time set. And Ukyo has set pole position, not by much though. And his teammate Jack Doohan, the Australian, just 17 years of age, 0.08 seconds behind. So Feline will no doubt talk to a number of drivers down on the grid. I guess we will hear very, very shortly from Jack Doohan, the son, of course, of Michael Doohan, one of the most famous exports from the land down under. He has certainly done a great job this year. The two high-tech drivers dominating the front of this grid. We are heading down to Feline. She looks like she's somewhere near Jack Doohan, who will start from the second position on the grid for this fourth race of the year.
Hi, Jack. Who are you going to watching out for this race?
Yeah, well, of course, my teammate starting off pole position, so he's going to be tough. And of course, the guys from behind, everyone's pace seems to be pretty consistent and good. So just going to have to do the best I can, try and get a good start. And it'll be good if I can try and get in front of Ukyo and then just focus on myself.
对，那刚刚我问到 Jack 呢，他这场比赛当中他有什么需要注意的地方？他提到我一定要非常注意我的队友，因为他Ukyo呢是在头位发车的，同时呢他也要注意身后的这些车手，不要让他们超越自己，希望能有一个很好的起步。同时呢，他说最大的挑战是他自己，他也要保持一个非常稳健的发挥。
Thanks, Feline. Well, interestingly, they're not really sure what they're going to face and what track conditions will be like. Based on qualifying, it was very, very close. But Jack Doohan will be trying to breach the gap to the championship points leader. It's 7 points. It's not too much, 68 to 61. And certainly High Tech have been the standout team. They won the championship last year. They won the Winter Series. They dominated the three Winter Series races here a little bit earlier in the year. Of course, identical cars, a lot of the same teams doing valuable miles during the off-season. And for Ukyo Sashihara, he's really been the standout. Neither of them, interestingly, set pole position or the fastest qualifying time at Sepang in Malaysia. That was down to Daniel Cow, who start this race from position 3 for Absolute Racing alongside his teammate Isham Puris. So the grid starting to clear. Here is the grid. Pole position to Ukyo Sashihara from Japan. The two high-tech Grand Prix teammates, Jack Doohan alongside the young Australian, they dominate the front row, pretty much as they had done. They were the top performers for the opening 3 races at Sepang in Malaysia earlier in April. On to the second row. Well, it's Absolute Racing. Now, Absolute Racing took a victory here in the Winter Series 2. And that at that stage was for Ye Fei, the Chinese driver who's gone on to Europe to do interesting things. Isham Pires, a great job for him, and Daniel Cow, who set pole for the opening event of the season in Malaysia. The two drivers alongside. Then it's the two Black Arts Racing drivers, Brendan Leach, the young New Zealander, from position number 5, alongside Tom Beckhauser from position number 6, the young Czech driver. Good to see him back in the championship. Miki Kiyama for BMAX Racing Team, a sterling qualifying effort for her. Position number 7 ahead of Ayrton Simmons, who's currently one of the front runners in the British F3 Championship. 2 out of 3 races so far in that championship at Alton Park. He's been on the podium. The DNF unfortunately dropping his points back. Yu Kanemaru, we saw him in the opening round, did a great job for Super License, the sole entry for the Japanese team this time round. And Yu Kwai for Zen Motorsport. Well, position number 10, car number 4. Tommy Smith, the young Australian who started from the front row in the 3rd race at Sepang in Malaysia, is off 12. Akash Gowda still going around for M Sport Asia from India. He is position number 11 on the grid. He's probably a little bit further back than we may well have expected. Then we're back to the Masters entries. Thomas Ludi took the advantage there over Paul Wong for the 852 Challengers team. Paul Wong getting some valuable miles as he continues on doing double duty with sports cars in the Lamborghini Super Trofeo Asia Series. So there is your grid. And we're getting set for a start. 30 minutes plus a lap for the leader. The 3 races. It's 15 races across the season. That's a lot of mileage. And these young drivers are working on eking out a career. We talk about championship points. Ukyo Sashihara won 2 races, is on top of the points, the Japanese driver, with 68. Jack Doohan, the young Australian, won race 3 of the series and finished runner-up to his Japanese teammate in the other 2 races. He's just 7 points behind in the championship. Then a big gap back to young Brendan Leach, the New Zealander, doing a very, very good job. He was talking to me a little bit earlier in the weekend about grip levels. He said the way you set the car up, you start with a little bit of understeer, and they're a very hard tyre, the Control GT tyre for this category. But they certainly do get a workout, and as the temperatures in this part of the world start to climb, the tyres also do increase in temperature, and that can have a little bit of an effect on wear. Wear rates aren't too high. We talk about drop-off, which is the performance over a lap time between the tyre when it's brand new to when the tyre is well worn. There's not a lot of drop-off in these tyres, but certainly the conditions of the tyre and the track can change. And Brendan Leach saying that it's very much understeer over the opening laps. Car balances out during the mid part of the race, and towards the end you're starting to go into oversteer and a little bit of work for these drivers. Now, this is very much a category where it is reliant on the performance of the driver. The drivers will tell you they're a very hard car to steer, no power steering, none of these really nice additional aids, ABS and traction control and all the things that a modern GT3 car have. So they are very much responsible for the performance of the car. Obviously things like tyre wear are important. They don't really need to worry too much about that with the GT Control tyre in this category. It's not a huge issue, but certainly setting the car up right is important, and so too driver experience. So as we get ready for this, we go down as a countdown for the opening race here at Chang International Circuit in Thailand. Start indeed as we get underway with the formation lap. And the drivers will be doing everything they can. We're talking about tyres. Tyre temperature is important. The stickier the tyre, the quicker you get it up to temperature, the greater the grip you have on the circuit. So you'll see a lot of weaving, a lot of jumping on the brakes and then accelerating, jumping on the brakes again. That's to try and get the heat from the brakes into the tyre. It will all help with getting that tyre up to temperature, increase the grip levels, and certainly the drivers with experience will will tend to charge away. We talked about High-Tech Grand Prix, the British outfit, very, very experienced in the junior formula worldwide. They compete all over the world. They've been very strong. They've now got an Asian base in Malaysia at Sepang International Circuit. They have been strong since the inception of the F3 Asian Championship, of course, the Winter Series as well. They have been dominant so far, and it's certainly been that team that have got on top of the setup of the cars very early in the piece. Testament to that is Ukyo Sashihara and Jack Doohan, the two entries for High-Tech Grand Prix this weekend, sitting at the front of this field. Absolute Racing, of course, are iconic in this part of the world, have been here for 10 years or more, and Fabian Fiore and Ingo Mater very instrumental in the development of a lot of drivers around this part of the world, certainly through to Giti formula, for which they're most closely associated these days. And their young team too is building. Ishan Pires and Daniel Cow have been very, very quick too. Of course, Daniel Cow, that is the green car weaving on the second line, that immediately behind Ishan Pires in the pink and gunmetal grey car. They are the two cars. That's Ishan Pires, car number 5, the second of that lot behind Jack Doohan. Now, where is Ukyo Sashihara? Has he disappeared off into the distance, or has he had a drama getting off the line? Whilst I've been prattling on about the tyre temperature, getting grip levels up and looking down the order of the starting list, Sashihara seems to have disappeared. Now, he may have raced off a little bit just to start jumping on brakes and getting temperature up, get the circuit to himself, but certainly there's a gap back to Jack Doohan. That camera angle showing that Sashihara not really there. Look at him just really violently turning the wheel of the car and just trying to dial in some temperature. There's Kwa Yu for the Zen Motorsport team, the orange and silver. Well, certainly the number 1 entry is there, so Sashihara, that's good news, has gotten around the circuit. So right of screen is the Japanese driver for High-Tech Grand Prix. Left of screen is Jack Doohan. Immediately behind Jack Doohan is Ishan Pires, and the pink car there, number 5, is Daniel Cow. So we get ready for a start for the opening race of 3 here at Chang International Circuit. We'll see the green flag start to wave towards the back. Yellow at the moment. Now, I hope there's no drama, no cars stalled, or there's an issue. No, he's gone for green, waving the green. We should have lights on, lights out, and we are underway. 30 minutes plus 1 lap for the leader as we get set for race 4 of the 2019 season. We're away. Oh, Sashihara just got ahead and closed the door on Jack Doohan. Doohan looks to the outside, a better run through turn 1. And it's High-Tech Grand Prix 1-2. Got to be mindful of the track limits. They can't afford to do too much of that, but certainly on the opening lap, that's not too bad. And it's High-Tech Grand Prix fighting down to turn 1. Doohan's got the outside run. Seems to have come out of the corner a little bit better. How deep under brakes can they go? His teammate's got the inside. First rule of competition, don't take out your teammate. Of course, that is your greatest rival. And these two drivers will be doing their very best side by side on the run down to turn 4. Very fast left-hander, the fastest left-hander on the circuit. Let's see how they sweep through here, but certainly advantage Sashihara, the points leader, as we tip in. Doohan on the outside, ridden the curb, gone all the way out, can't hold it there for too long. He'll have to nip in behind as we come through turn 5, into 6, the second of the left-handers, and into the hard right-hander turn 7. Doohan is just watching the tail now of his teammate. And immediately behind them, Ishan Pires has made a great start. Now, Brendan Leach looks like he's dropped further back. Just checking on who that is further behind in the pink car. We will get the timing. Oh, the number 16 entry. That is Tommy Smith, the young Australian. Now, let's hope there hasn't been any contact there. A lot of steam. That could well be contact, and a radiator has just let a pipe go. Can't quite see what's happened there. We've missed that further back. Now, whether or not he was tied up with Brendan Leach. So we cross the line. Sashihara leads, Doohan second, Pires third. Leach in position number 4. So it's not as the pink flashes on that car has caught me. So that looks like Daniel Cow's dropped further back. So Brendan Leach up to position number 4. Tom Beckhauser in position number 5. Eden Simmons in position number 6. Oh, this is a tough battle. That is Daniel Cow further back. No, that should be Ishan Pires. The number 5 entry of Daniel Cow. Looks like they've done a bit of a colour change over there at Absolute. That one's caught me napping just a little bit. This is a great battle. That was Simmons too. Caught up in this fight. Early in this race, very, very interesting racing. Oh, going around the outside. Oh, just hasn't caught it. And the number 95 entry, Tom Beckhauser, gathers it all up again. Down at turn 5 and regroups. He's lost wholesale ground there. That's a tough run for him on his return to the F3 Asian Championship. As out front, Sashihara is doing everything he can to try and keep that advantage. That is back for position number 8. Miki Kiyama just got a little bit tight. Not too much grip there on the outside. He just tried to hang on to it. And Beckhauser caught up in that battle with Simmons and Cow. Further back in the field, they cross the line once more. Advantage again to Sashihara. Fastest lap, 1:34.86. Qualifying time, 1:33.999 for Sashihara. So not much in it. Doohan, 1:35.1. He's a second behind now. Ishan Pires in position number 3. Brendan Leach, position number 4. Daniel Cow up to position number 5. Ayrton Simmons in position number 6. Position 7 to Miki Kiyama, which is about where she started on this grid. She's a little bit further back in the field, 7 seconds. So that mix-up further back cost a number of those drivers. Now, who have we lost in that? Tommy Smith obviously out in that opening lap. As we go down to Kanemaru in position number 8. So the super licensed drivers a little bit further back than we would have expected. And Kwai Yu in position number 9. Akash Gowda in position number 10. Let's take a look at the replay. Straight across in front of his teammates. Sashihara got a good start, managed to close the door, and then Doohan locked onto his tail. Did what he could to try and take the inside running. Didn't quite have the advantage. Sashihara was able to close the door. There he is, the number 1 entry for High Tech Grand Prix. Championship points leader, up by 7 coming into this race.